you a good witch or a bad witch? Happy Halloween season! This is a witch makeup look I did with my real face being torn apart, and the witch is coming through because this is just what happens in life, you know? This is what happens when your real self comes through. So if you want to know how to get my witch makeup look, just keep watching. First, I am applying the Mehron Liquid latex across my forehead, going diagonal, a little around my nose, and going towards the bottom of my eye. Now, don't do it all the way towards the end of your face. That was my mistake, because part of that will connect to other parts later on. But after this, you're going to apply tissue paper on top. Then you're going to apply more liquid latex and try to peel off what you can. Then I go back in with the liquid latex to lay it all down just to make sure it's completely covered in liquid latex. So we're going to continue that same technique, but starting on our jawline, and we're going to go around our whole jawline and continue to do that whole process till it connects to the part that we created that ends on the top of our cheekbone. That's going to connect to it so it looks like the witch is ripping out of our face. So it's going to look like our face, the human part, is tearing apart. So carefully with the tweezers, please carefully, I am lifting the edges from what we created so that it can look like it's ripping. So we need to have like a little flap sticking out, because later on we're going to shade that, and when we shade it and add the blood and stuff, that's what's going to make it look like our skin is ripping out. So please carefully with tweezers, just lightly pick at it and lift the edges of the part that we created. Make sure we lift the edges all around, going not only from the forehead part, but the edge from the bottom part of the cheekbone part, and going down to the jaw. All of the edges need to be loosened. Taking foundation that matches your skin, apply it to the human part of our face, and we're going to also make sure we color the edges of the skin that is peeling off. Remember for this part to use a foundation that matches your skin. just setting the foundation on my eyelid using setting powder. I'm going to apply some concealer on my under eye, just like how we'll do our makeup normally, but only on the human side. I am setting that as well with setting powder. Taking my bronzer, I'm just going to add a little bit of definition to my eye by warming up my crease. I'm going to highlight my brow bone in the inner corner of my eye using my Tarte highlighter in the color Strobe. And then I'm going to do my one eyebrow as I normally do, using my powder from my Maybelline Fashion Brow Palette and then applying my Victoria's Secret Brow Gel on top. Just touching up the beginning of my brows. Now I am just curling my lashes and I'm going to apply my NYX Is It Worth the Hype mascara on the top and bottom lashes. Which part of our face, I want you to apply a lighter foundation to that side of the face, or even if you have a lighter cream paint or anything like that, you can use that as well. I am just taking a foundation that is very light compared to my natural skin tone, and I am applying it all over to my which side of my face. Now I'm just blending it out more with the sponge just to make sure everything is pressed into the skin. Now taking a very light setting powder I have, I'm going to use that to set the which portion of my face. Using the color Benny, which is a grayish brownish color, more so gray, I'm going to contour my face using this color. So starting off from my nose, I'm going to thin out my nose because I want my face to look a little more sucked in. And then I'm going to apply the setting powder on the sides and the middle just so that it can thin out more. And then you're going to see me add it on top just to lighten it because I felt it was a little too gray on the end of my nose and doesn't look as good as it did on the side. So I'm just messing around here with the setting powder and the shade just so that everything can blend in better. For the face, when I contour the face, I am not just doing a straight or a curved line. I am making sure it's a little sharp angle, and then I am dragging it down my cheekbone, and eventually I'm going to drag it down a little towards my jaw in the front, towards my chin, sorry. And then what I'm going to do eventually is after I contour my forehead and my side, you're going to see me go back and I'm going to drag it down a little just to make my cheeks look more sunken in. I'm making sure I'm also doing that on the other side of my face, regardless of it being covered. On the parts that show, make sure you contour that side as well. I'm going to add setting powder to the highlighter parts just to make everything more cleaned and sharpened. And after I let that sit in for a little, I then wipe it all off. Not wipe off, but I swoop off with the brush, you know, just brush it off. Then I'm just touching up a little more of the contour with whatever's left over on the brush. Then going back in with Benny, I am applying it to my lid on my witch side and underneath my eye just to make that whole eye socket look sunken in. And I'm also going to mix it a little with the color Boutique, which is a type of brownish red color, and that's just to make you look a little more tired. Taking the red shadow called You're Kidding, I'm going to take an angled brush and I'm going to start creating my veins. So I'm lightly making lines coming out of my eye, but it is not straight lines. Make sure you wiggle it around a little, making them look a little, have a little angle, have a little swerve here and there, just to make them look more realistic. And then taking a royal blue looking color called Brother, take that color and do the same thing as well for the veins, but do not wipe off the red, because when you look at your veins, the red and blue do mix in sometimes, making it look a little purple, and that will also help make them look more real. Now taking my Mellow Cosmetics pen eyeliner, I am going to start creating the cracks that are on my face. So I'm going to squiggle it down, starting on my forehead, and then I'm going to make big parts that look empty, and those are the parts you're going to eventually fill in. And when you continue on, you just go anywhere around your face and start creating lines. And if you see a chance to put in a big gap or a big blank spot that can look like it cracked in already, fill that in with the liner. Got the other side of my face quickly, so I'm just adding veins where they would appear as the face is ripping off, which is coming out from under the part of where the eye is. So make sure you add some veins there as well, and then after that I am continuously making cracks on my face. I'm going to apply lashes to the top of my lid and to the bottom portion of my lashes. Now, you know I'm not normally a false lash person, but I'm doing this on purpose to not only make it look dramatic, but make sure that eye looks bigger and more creepier and widened. So I am applying my top lashes carefully, and I do struggle with applying lashes to myself. I feel like it's easier to do it on other people. Then I am going to apply white liner to my waterline. Now I'm just touching up the edge of the lashes with a brown and black shadow, and then I'm going to curl the lashes and apply mascara to the top and bottom, making sure they make the lashes look big and my eyes look very wide compared to my human side. taking my BlackHeart lip liner. It's a double-sided lip liner and lipstick. I'm just going to use the liner, and I'm not just lining my lips. I'm also going to color it in with the black liner. After this, I'm going to go in with my Cinema Secrets cream, and I'm mixing black, brown, and red, and I'm going to create shadow under where the skin is ripping, and I'm going to color it underneath just to make it look more realistic, like if it's tearing off of our face. Now make sure that you go into the edges of all over your face. The part that's ripping, make sure you go to every single part and you create shadow there. That's what's going to make it look very real. I'm just taking a little bit of bronzer and applying to where I'll normally contour on my human part of my face, just to add a little more warmth to that part. So I added blood around and dripping from my nose. I added some here and dabbed it. Clearly I forgot to press record for that part, but this is the last part I'm going to do. And the reason I put it on my mouth is because, you know, which is crazy. I'm bleeding from my nose. I am making sure, even though I did shading there, I added blood parts in and on the skin part because it looks more real knowing it is ripping out. Like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.